Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Now that my two obligatory informative videos are done for the day, it's time to talk about current events in the online fitness community. And people have asked me, Jason, will you cover this new Alpha M video? The 10 tips that he wished he knew when he was in his 20s. I think that's interesting because I'm the same age he is. We're both 42 and we both train. So let me put on my +5 out of weaponsmithing, work on skilling up my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about this. He had some good things to say in there, then he had some silly stuff to say in there. And I did not like the fact that he turned it into an advertisement. Like a third of his video was advertising useless garbage ass supplements and then pimping bodybuilding.com. I'm going to get this out of the way up front. And I'm going to give credit for the good stuff he said, then I'm going to correct some misnomers. But don't buy anything from bodybuilding.com. That would be my advice. Don't buy anything from them, and you guys don't need supplements. CLA has not been found in the research, nor has L-carnitine been found in the research to help with body fat loss. They don't. Don't throw your money away on that crap. But on to some of the points he made. One of the things he said up front, don't assume that because a guy looks good with his shirt off that he knows what he's talking about. Bam, beautiful, perfect. And I'm not a physique guy, by the way, for those who watching and saying, Jason, you're not shredded, you're not ripped. Well, I am cutting right now, actually. I'm going to cut down to 10% body fat, down to 17 now. But yeah, I am actually cutting, but I'm not normally a physique guy. I don't care about that stuff. I'm a strength athlete. So over to the point, though, he's right. Most of the guys who you see who look good on Instagram, that's just genetics and a lot of trend. That's what it is. It's drugs. It's drugs and genetics. A lot of those guys, when you talk to them, literally don't know shit about training. They don't know shit about exercise science. They don't know shit about nutritional science. Half of those guys who look good are not qualified to coach a high school football team in the weight room. They have no concept of basic training knowledge. They're genetics with a lot of trend, right? And then they starve themselves. That's it. That's it. Doesn't mean they know anything. And he said, get advice from someone who either has a good background knowledge in the area or has been where you are personally. Find a mentor, a guru. I agree with that. In fact, I'm going to go out on a limb and say you shouldn't have just one. You probably need 5 or 6, right? You probably need 5 or 6 people so you can get some well-rounded idea from different coaches and experts and things to give you good advice. Notice I say coaches, experts, things like that. I don't recommend that you go to bodybuilders for advice. Bodybuilders are usually effing morons for the most part, who literally don't know anything about training. Again, it's just genetics and drugs. And then they just pin anything that's a weak point. They just fill it full of oil. That's standard bodybuilding protocol. The other thing he pointed out, I am going to give him a hard time for this one. He said, when people will tell you if you look better than them, that you must be on steroids. And then he said the thing of saying, hey man, if you want to use that as your excuse to look like shit, go ahead. All right, first of all, everyone is on steroids. I mean, let's go back to the point about the people looking good on Instagram. 95% of the people who the fitness world thinks look good are on steroids. That's real. Are we denying this fact? I mean, are we in denying it? Also, Alpha, you're 42. I hope you're on TRT. I'm on TRT, right? I'm on TRT. You're 42. I hope you're on TRT. If you're not, I don't know what you're doing with your life. It will change your life for the better, my friend. So, over to the point, they are all on steroids. Furthermore, you don't get to say things like, tell another man that he looks like shit with the name Alpha in your name, because that's not, dude, if you were legitimately Alpha, you really and truly don't stand around comparing your physique to other men. Meaning you might know that a dude's strong or whatever, you understand stuff, but you don't stand around actually, he looks good, he looks like shit. That's like, dude, if you have that mentality, you're probably sucking dick for growth hormone. Probably a competitive bodybuilder who sucks dick for growth hormone. Don't say things like that, man. That's at least don't say that and then try to call yourself an alpha male. That's not going to work. So that's the one bit of serious criticism I'm going to give him, because he did have some other good points. Oh, what did he say? He wished that he had trained his legs more when he was younger. Bam, perfect. I agree. I'm going to say lower body training needs to probably be a minimum of 40% of your time in the gym, right? At least 40%. We could argue up to 50, but deadlifts and stuff can be volume. volume problems for training and everything. No, your lower body matters. We're going to talk about fitness. You're going to talk about longevity. You're going to talk about health. Your leg training is more important than your upper body training. And so if it is taking only like a fifth of your training time, like you're running some silly ass body part split and you have a leg day in there, you're not going to get all the health benefits of training. If you look at all the research we have on there, everything about cancer rates, diabetes, cognition, osteoporosis, heart disease, all this stuff, your leg training is actually more important than your upper body training. Let's just face it, it is. Yeah, your upper body training matters more for your aesthetics, but your lower body training is going to affect your health and your fitness more. And I certainly hope that you guys aren't training just for your looks. I really hope you're trying to get some health benefits and other stuff out of it. I would advise that you do that. So he did have some good stuff in there like that. One of the other things I'm really, really going to disagree with is that he said in there that it doesn't matter how strong you are. No one cares yet. Man, that's where we're going to disagree, brother. That's where we're going to disagree. I think how strong you are is everything. I think it's everything. And let's come back to that point about knowing what you're talking about versus using drugs. We've got countless amounts of data. We've got countless amounts of experts at this point. They're discussing the research. The only guys who separate size and strength are guys who are abusing drugs. That's it. So let's go back to that point of you're using drugs. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. A guy who is really jacked and not very strong is using steroids. And he's using a lot of them because it's dose dependent. The research actually shows that beyond a certain threshold of drug intake, all you do is gain muscle without strength from the drugs. But for people who are natural or who use very conservative amounts of anabolics, there is an enormous measurable correlation between muscle size and muscle strength. It's true, it's reality. Things like the mind-muscle connection, they don't matter. They matter versus not using it, but if you look at the other research, compensatory acceleration produces much, much better muscle fiber recruitment than even the mind-muscle connection does. So it does matter how strong you are. If you're trying to gain muscle, you have to get strong. You have to get strong. Or you have to use a lot of drugs. You can't just pick and choose. You're going to have to pick one of those options. So that's where he's flat wrong. The other thing he did talk about that I really like, though, was about balance. And I think that's important too, because he talked about guys getting too lean. That's kind of the point I make when I tell guys not to get super shredded. What do I tell you guys all the time? That if you get too lean, your dick isn't going to work. You're going to have no sex drive. Guys think I'm kidding. He said he ran into the same problem, causing problems with his girlfriend. He would get too shredded, stay too shredded. What happens? Your sex drive goes away. You develop erectile dysfunction. All right, don't get super shredded, guys. Don't go under 10% body fat. All right, don't do it. Stay at 10%, 11%. You'll look fine. You'll look good. You'll look jacked if you got muscle. Don't go under that. Your sex drive's going to suffer. That will affect your quality of life. And you got to have balance in your life. You know, it's fine. Guys are going to reach certain phases in their life where maybe they don't have a social life. Maybe they don't have a girl. Maybe they don't have a job. They're in school, right? They're in school and they don't have a job. You can afford to spend your life in the gym, but at a certain point, you're going to want a life outside of that. Unless you're a professional athlete, unless your income is directly tied to your training in some way, you need to have balance in your life. You absolutely need to have balance in your life. So when he says that, I'm going to give props for that. He's absolutely right. I agree with that. I agree with that completely. And I mean, that's even true for me. That's true for me. I mean, my income is tied to my YouTube. It's tied to this, absolutely. But I don't want to spend all my time training. You know, I did Bulgarian training for 7 months where I was squatting and hitting maxes 6 days a week. I don't want to train like that all the time. 3-4 days a week is fine. Same thing with your diet. You have to be flexible enough in what you're eating to be able to live your life. Because why is it that we have fitness? We get involved in fitness to improve our quality of life on multiple levels. We do this for our quality of life. Well, if your physique or your training or your athleticism comprises the entirety of your life, you're not living your life. So that is the one thing that he said in there that I'm absolutely going to agree with. I think that's a great point. Any other criticism I made probably takes a back seat to that statement because that's a profound statement, and that's something I'm going to agree with completely. I'm going to agree with that completely. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.